Hello everybody, welcome to the Gently Walker Show. Today my guest is Courtney Reed. You've seen her at In the Heights and Mamma Mia, and now she's playing the iconic role as Jasmine on Broadway. And this is Maddie, as you know, who's my co-director from the Christmas Carol. So, Courtney, how was it growing up in Chicago?
Oh, you said Chicago and it just brought me back. It was great. You know, I grew up in a small town. Well, that's not that small. I grew up in Elgin, Illinois, and it was outside of Chicago, 40 minutes outside Chicago. So I consider myself a city girl. I went to college in Chicago, so I feel like I'm a true Chicagoan. But it was great. It was a perfect stepping stone city for New York. And so when I went to school in Chicago, and then I got to know all the train systems, came to New York, was like, oh, I got this.
So, when you grew up in Chicago, what made you do this?
Well, I'd have to say, so it kind of all started with my sister. She took dance, and so then I followed in her footsteps, so I wanted to take dance, and then she did community theater. And so I wanted to do community theater. So that's kind of how it started. And then I played Annie and Annie. Because obviously, don't I look like an Annie?
Yeah.
No, thank you for saying that. But, so I played Annie and Annie, and I thought, oh my gosh, is this what it's like to be a performer? I want to do this for the rest of my life.
I just played a 50 video though.
Did you?
Yep. With a fat suit and a gold wig and rubber prosthetic and everything.
I've never worn prosthetics. That sounds cool.
Now, let's fast forward a little. You graduate college and your agent calls and it said they want you on the tour of Mamma Mia. 5 minutes later, they go, no, they want you in the Broadway. What was going through your mind?
Oh, it was crazy. Well, actually, what's interesting is I just assumed that it was for the tour. I was auditioning in Chicago after I graduated college, and I almost didn't go to the audition. I think if I didn't go to the audition, I probably wouldn't be here today. But I auditioned thinking that it was for the tour and for Mamma Mia, and when my agent called me, they said, do you want to be on Broadway? And I was completely shocked because I had no idea that the show was for Broadway. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm making my Broadway debut way sooner than I ever thought I would. Because I was planning on going to LA and like maybe doing the LA thing. Because in my mind, it's like you got to be famous first before you're on Broadway.
And you were only like 19.
I was 22 actually. Yeah.
So that takes me to my next question. You were in the Heights with Lin-Manuel Miranda, and you played understudied 3 different parts. How did you keep on playing? Because I always have Maddie play like 4 different parts with 4 different wigs. So, how do you keep them?
Well, it's difficult because you have to, and I think that it's probably the hardest job in the world to understudy multiple parts or to be a swing in a show, because you kind of have to have that sort of mindset, like, okay, I'm focused, I remember this, and you have to go into that character and only be that character. So it was really difficult when I was Carla, and I understudied Nina and Vanessa. So if you guys know the show In the Heights, there's a song called No Me Digo, right? Where all of the girls sing the song. So if I'm understudying all the characters, you have to think, which one am I today? And which one's my harmony? I'm in the middle, I'm in the top, I'm in the bottom. Okay, I normally sing this. So if like one night I go on for Vanessa, I just played Carla the night before, and then the next day I go on for Nina. It's like, you really have to concentrate.
Maddie. I would like to talk about Jasmine. Now, how did Aladdin change from Toronto to, Seattle to Broadway to what we see now?
Well, I think it was, there were a lot of changes that were made. In the middle, there was in the middle of the Toronto run, I got a brand new song. I used to sing Call Me Princess, and now I sing These Palace Walls. So that changed. That was a big change. And then once we moved to Broadway, they made the genie more of the narrator of the show, because actually the three guys used to kind of narrate it, which was the original concept of the movie. And so that's how most of the changes started. And I think after that, I think people liked us more. After that, they liked the show better after that.
Now, I recently interviewed James Monroe back in July. He did our season finale 14. And he said that you guys were freaking out when you got the role because they called you and they're like, you might have to audition. It's not yours.
Well,
and
actually, yeah.
He called Adam, and Adam was freaking out. Then they called you. You were freaking out.
Yeah, no, we were all freaking out. I mean, it was funny because when they announced that the show was going to Broadway, we didn't know that we were going to be playing the parts. So we would all text each other all the time, like, what did your agent say? What did your agent say? Are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? It's like, well, no, none of us have gotten the offer yet. And so when that happened, when we got the calls, of course we immediately, called everybody else, texted everyone else, like, did you get it? Did you get it? Did you get it? And we I think we just knew, our director always kind of reassured us, but, you never know. You never know what's going to happen.
Now, let's talk about the new song, A Million Miles Away and Behind These Palace Walls. Can you tell us a little about them?
Yeah, sure. So A Million Miles Away, I'll start with that one. It's a gorgeous duet between Aladdin and Jasmine. And it's when they first meet. So, and I think it brings, musical is incredible because it has music, right? It's like a heightened version of reality. And I think when you see it in the movie, them meeting, you almost want them to have a song at that point. And so A Million Miles Away is where they both share the same interest of, leaving this place, right? Which then leads into Palace Walls. She has her song, he has his song, they have their I want songs of I want to see more to life, but she wants to see more than what's behind the palace walls that she's seen. It's the only thing that she's seen her whole life. She wants to see more. So then she meets this guy who's in the marketplace, and he wants more to life than being a street rat, right? So they come from these opposite worlds, and they come together and they have this similar journey and in which they want for the future, and that's kind of how they connect.
Yeah, now, you were in the with Alan Menken, and he said, something isn't right here. I want to take you into the next room and redo a whole new world just for you and Adam. How was that like?
It was incredible.
Were you freaking out?
Yeah, I was freaking out. I mean, just imagine, first of all, freaking out all the time. I'm still kind of freaking out. There's always I feel like I have this bucket list And within this show, all I'm doing is just crossing another one off, just crossing another one off. I just feel like I'm just so fortunate. But to work with Alan Menken is kind of a freak out moment, right? He's like kind of a living legend. And so he saw A Whole New World. We did it. We staged it in rehearsal, and he thought, you know what? It needs just something more. Because with an animated movie, right, you have cartoons. You can make them fly over, you know, Egypt.
Yeah.
But in a show on stage, you can't do that. So what sometimes you need to do is you need to really amp up the music and make it new and fresh in order for it to seem as if it's similar to the movie, right? And so he started redoing that. And then he added that little beginning part. You must feel trapped inside these walls and sort of way, just you and me, which kind of leads into the song. And when Adam started singing it, I was like full on like bawling, like full on like crying, like so hard, thinking I could barely sing it, and he was just kind of laughing at me. But it's funny, if you asked him that same question, he'd be like, she just cried the whole time. She just cried. She just cried.
Yeah. Now, how is it shooting up in the Jasmine outfit? And what went through your mind the first time you put on that iconic blue outfit?
Oh gosh, well, I think when I put it on, I looked at myself in the mirror and said, I'll never look more like Jasmine than I do in this moment. Because I dressed up as Jasmine for Halloween in 2009, and I'll tell you, it didn't look as good as this. You know, she's always been such an influential person in my life, considering she's an animated character. But I always wanted to, you know, look like Jasmine. I always wanted to be like her. You know, it's funny, you like grow up and you watch movies and you're like, oh, I want to be like her, I want to be like her. And so when I saw myself, it's kind of like an out-of-body experience, you know, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this, like I'm gonna play this role on Broadway, it's pretty cool. But I have to say, when I was like, okay, they're gonna put you in the costume, sorry, that's the, you know, they're getting ready for the show, but I thought, oh, I better start really working out. I better start really working out and eating well, man. This costume is very revealing. So there were a lot of things that went through my mind, including that.
What is the best stage door experience?
Gosh, there's so many stage door experiences. Do you want me to turn down the thing really quick?
No, it doesn't bother me.
Okay. Okay. There was actually one of my favorite stage door experiences where there was a little girl dressed up like Jasmine, and her two friends were dressed up like her attendants. And so I thought, gosh, this is so good. And it was like a Middle Eastern family as well. And so I thought, oh my gosh, it's like the mini versions of us on stage. That was so good. But I have a lot of good stage door experiences, including one of my top ones was, you know, because I feel like everyone loves the Adam's big solo, Proud of Your Boy, and they don't like these Palace Walls as much. But I had a guy tell me that he had these Palace Walls in his gym playlist, and so I thought, I've made it. When I'm on somebody's gym playlist, I've made it.
Maddie, did I cover else?
They were out of order, but...
Does Maddie have any questions?
Maddie, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a few.
Okay. This was Maddie's director's gift.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's why you sent the Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
And we've been planning this for 3 months, and he had no idea.
That's awesome. Oh, what a good friend.
All right, go ahead.
So, if you could pick another Broadway show to be in, what show would it be, and which part would you want to play?
So does it have to be currently on Broadway, or it could be any show?
Any show.
Okay, well, I think everybody knows this, but I've always wanted to play Kim in Miss Saigon, and I don't think it'll ever happen. But maybe I'll do it regionally. No, I connect very much to that role. I was kind of, and of course it's like Lea Salonga, so she's like the queen.
Who got you into acting and performing?
My sister. I kind of talked about this a little bit, but you know, my sister, I kind of wanted to follow in her footsteps, and she took dance and did community theater, and I wanted to be kind of like just like her. She didn't really continue on to do it, but I did, and then I just like I thought I don't have any other skill sets, so I guess this is what I'm gonna do. I was like, what am I gonna do when I stop acting? I can't do anything else. I don't know.
Well, all of his questions kind of answered mine, so I guess
Oh, okay.
that's it.
Yeah, if you, can you give us, before we go, a little tour of your dressing?
A tour of the
A
dressing
little
room?
tour of the dressing room.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Okay.
this is
This is the Jasmine Shrine. These are literally all gifts that have been given to me by like friends and family, and also all of the things that are framed. My dad is a big picture taker, framer. He's like the frame master. So he takes pictures of us. This is me as a Boo when I was little, in Aladdin, because I wasn't cast as Jasmine. Of course, I was a Boo. And that's me in the wedding costume with my niece, who's also in a Jasmine costume. She's bigger now. I actually just sent her a picture of like a real, like a Jasmine costume that's not like purple. It's like a real Jasmine costume. And this is like a real cut. Oh gosh, everything. I have the holiday Jasmine. I have, you know, little kid toy Jasmines, everything. I have the original VHS, the original doll. Elias, the hair guy, gave that to me. Oh gosh, I have everything. A note from Alan Menken. I have my Broadway Audience Choice Award, probably the only award I've ever won. All of the things. There's so many Jasmine things in here. Hopefully if I have a daughter, she'll get to inherit all these things. She probably won't even like Jasmine. She'll be like, but yeah. So that's my little tour.
Yeah, I would just like to thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye
We'll
bye.
see you next time.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you.